Hi, and welcome. My name is Todd Worley. I'm a blogger and online entrepreneur, and well, today I kind of really want to touch on a sensitive subject about being disabled and actually having kids. I know that this is a little bit of a controversial subject as well, depending on what kind of disability you have and all that good stuff. But I just really want to touch bases here with some of my experiences as to why I think it's okay for disabled people to have kids. And once again, a lot of that really does kind of depend on your disability as well. I mean, if you have a mental illness of going out and eating cats or something like that, you probably shouldn't have kids, okay? But I mean, but for the average disabled person, amputees, people who are blind. I actually read this when I was doing research for this article. I actually read this very touching, very kind of touching, but also discrimination story of this couple. Both the mother and the father were blind or whatnot. Anyways, a nurse. They end up just having their first kid or whatnot. Brand new newborn baby or whatnot. The mother was kind of having trouble breastfeeding, as honestly any new mother would. I mean, shoot, my wife had 3 kids and she had trouble relearning how to breastfeed each and every one of them. And this was a couple that just had their firstborn kid and all this good stuff. The nurse, she walked in, big smiles, showed them how to do the breastfeeding thing and all that good stuff. And then she went and actually called social services on them. Social services, and they ended up getting their kid taken away for 57 days. Could you imagine that? You just had a brand new kid, and you get that child just ripped out of your hands for 57 days. 2 long months. Yeah, talk about some discrimination there, okay? So it's not just people, it's our government, it's just kind of how people view it, I've lived on disability my whole adult life, and I know that people have viewed me as lazy. They viewed me as, just mooching off the government, People who don't have disabilities, it's really hard for them to understand that there are times when you're just physically unable to do things, And, it's just one of those things, That's life. But should it prevent you from actually being able to have kids and have the family and have everything that goes along with it? No, not in the least bit, okay? I'm not going to sit there and tell an amputee who went to war and something like that and comes home that no, they shouldn't have any kids, or they shouldn't have a life of a beautiful life with having a family and all that good stuff. That's so wrong in my eyes. And I'm sorry, but I'm stating my opinion here. I believe disabled people should be able to have kids, whether you're on government funding or not or whatnot. Okay, I know that's another reason why a lot of people look down on on disabled people having kids, because they're on government funding. So it's my tax dollars paying for you raising your kids and all this good stuff. Guys, honestly, living on government funding is not like a glamorous lifestyle here, okay? We're not living the rich and famous lifestyle here, or lifestyles of the rich and famous, or whatever that show is, but it's not like that, okay? We struggle just as any other average American does, okay? We struggle with finances and everything else, and this is something that you really gotta realize if you're disabled and stuff and living on Social Security and stuff like that, okay? Money is not everything when it comes to raising kids. Actually, money is probably one of the furthest things. You always find a way, okay? You always find a way. I make $700 a month, and yet my kids are probably some of the happiest kids ever. We find ways. We go out there to, the clothes or the food banks and stuff like that. I mean, there's always ways to actually provide for your child, okay? So don't let the money thing become an issue, okay? And like I said, I know that there's lots of people out there that discriminate. Actually, you want to hear a story? You want to hear kind of a personal story here? Before I had kids and all this good stuff, my stepdad, who is a hard-working man, he worked 50 plus hours a week on construction sites and everything else. And then after that, he'd actually come home and work on our house. I don't know how he did. It just simply amazed me, how much work he can actually do in one given day and all this good stuff. But anyways, And I really do admire him and all that good stuff for it. But there was one day where he actually came up to me and plainly said, hey, because you have a disability, I don't think you should have kids. Yeah. I mean, he just flat out said it, and granted, I know that he was saying this out of a place of love, for him or whatnot. I mean, he's just like one of those blunt people who will come up and kind of speak their mind, and I know that it was, I know that was coming out of concern for me, because he was worried that I wouldn't be able to physically handle, keeping up with little ones and all this good stuff. But some of the riches in life come from having a family. It's not about the money. It's not about what you can or can't do. Honestly, my kids are very, very happy. In those days when I just can't physically, do the things that I want to do with them, but yet I'm there for them. I'm there to listen to their needs. I can go, on my bad days, I can sit there and still watch a family movie or cartoons with them, play a board game with them. There are other avenues to be engaging with your kids and raising your kids than going out and playing football with them all the time or anything like that. And that's really what it boils down to. And I know that there's a lot of fears that comes with being disabled and all that good stuff and having kids, but guess what, guys? It doesn't matter if you're disabled. It doesn't matter if you're normal. It doesn't what is normal anymore, but it doesn't matter if you have a disability or not. What matters is, what type of parent are you? Are you going to be there for your kid? Are you going to engage with them? Are you going to show up to their school functions? Are you going to, there's so many wonderful things about being a parent. And I believe what makes a good parent isn't about the money. It isn't about whether you're disabled or not, because there's really horrible parents out there that are not disabled whatsoever, really, really horrible parents. Those parents that sit there, work 12 hours a day, and it's more the nanny raising the kids and stuff like that. That's the people with the money right there. But there's more to it than that. If you can sit there and be engaging with your child and stuff like that, that's really what being a parent is all about, just being there. Okay, guys, so if you guys are having fears, if you guys are worried about having a kid or kids or whatnot, me and my wife are both disabled, and if we go around and we tell people, between the two of us, we make one good parent. And we really do. We get all the household stuff done, between the two of us. If she has a bad day and I'm having a good day, I can go and help. If I'm having a bad day and she's having a good day, she helps me. And if we're both having bad days, then we might do something a little bit easier than, going and cooking a 4-course meal for a family of 5. We might just go and order out. There's a different perspective into raising kids than it is like holding down a full-time job, okay? I know a lot of people, they're like, well, if you can't hold down a full-time job, how do you plan on raising kids? Raising kids is a lot harder than holding down a full-time job. It's completely different, okay? Completely different. 2 different aspects here, okay? One, with a full-time job, you can't sit there and call people to come in, like your mom or something like that, to come and help you on your bad days and stuff like that, to where you can if you have kids. There's been times where I have reached out to a family member or a friend or something like that and say, hey, can you help me, do this or do that? I need assistance here. Me and my wife need assistance. It's okay to ask for help, and it's something that you can do with a child than you can with a full-time job. Plus, if you don't show up or cut corners on your job or whatnot, what happens? You get fired and you lose your complete security. Or you lose your income, your finances, and all that good stuff, to where, if you're having a bad day and you're raising kids and stuff, there are little corners that you can cut. There are little things that you can, not do that day and maybe do the next day, just like with the dinner and all that good stuff. It's a completely different aspect, okay? So please just read the post. I went over some of my personal fears here about having kids and stuff like that. I know that this would be a lot of common fears for people who are having kids and stuff like that. So just kind of read all the posts and see that, it can be done, okay? It can be done. And don't let anybody tell you that it can't, okay? Because it really can be done. Okay, guys. Anyways, God bless, and I hope you enjoy the post.